Great. So I don't have to remind you.
No.
And
I want to post the YouTube link, but I'll
Testing,
wait for it
testing.
to start.
Yep, hold on. I have to play. I have to mute so I don't get feedback. When you get it into the calendar now. We placed the link in the chat. Everyone, we'll be getting started momentarily. Thank you all for coming. Okay, it is now on the front of our site. We'll wait one more minute and then we'll get started. So everyone, while people are coming in, please let us know where you are coming from by typing it in the chat, whether you are on YouTube or you are in Zoom.
Melissa, why am I not seeing the YouTube?
I put the link in the chat. Oh, hold on. The link is in the chat. It's also on our site now.
Yeah, I went through the site, but
Yeah, you have to refresh the calendar entry.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Because sometimes if you had it open, it may not have. Do you see it there now?
Yep.
And the link's also in the chat. Now, guys, where are you coming from geographically? Not where you are if you're in Zoom or YouTube, because we can see that. So let us know where you are coming from. I am in North Brunswick, New Jersey.
where are you?
Yeah, where are
Indonesia.
you?
Hello, Indonesia.
Indonesia, welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure where I'm hearing crosstalk from. Leedy, make sure if you have the live stream open to mute it so we don't get feedback if anyone's in there. So let's get started. We all ready?
We are.
Yeah, let me turn off our presentation. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening. I know you have lots of options for what you can be doing. So thank you for choosing us. My name is Melissa Hosick. I am the adult programming librarian here at the East Brunswick Public Library. As always, we are excited to partner with the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. We've been partnering since 2017 on different programs through our Option Green lecture series and also with National Moth Week events. So that's what this event is tonight. I'm going to make 2 notes. So yeah, let us know where you're coming from the chat geographically. And also we do have live transcription for those who are in Zoom. Please note that it is auto transcription. So thank you for your understanding of any weird things that technology thinks we are saying. We also have this streaming over on YouTube at ebpl.org/YouTube. So you can share that with your friends. And it's also in the events calendar on our website. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce Stanley Landman. She is a board member for the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission and a Moth Week coordinator. I don't know what your term would be. Member, team guru.
Team member, communicator. Thank you very much, Melissa. It's really my pleasure to welcome everybody to this program. We're really excited to have Michael Sarill here from Project Noaa. If you're familiar with Project Noaa, you know a little bit about it, but Michael's going to tell you a lot more. I'm here also on behalf, obviously, of National Moth Week, and Michael's going to tell you all about that as well and what Project Noaa does in its partnership with us. We're really excited. National Moth Week actually starts on this Saturday night, July 17th, and runs through July 25th. Here in East Brunswick, where National Moth Week was started in 2012, we will be having our Moth Night on July 23rd here in Community Park. So if you're in New Jersey, if in East Brunswick or local, please join us. We're going to have a lot of fun watching moths that night. And wherever you are in the world, you can celebrate moth National Moth Week and have a Moth Night in your own backyard, or go to a local park or where they might be having a public event. But we're really excited about this year. This is our 10th year of having National Moth Week. And as of today, we just hit 100 countries that have been observing where there have been people participating, I should say, in National Moth Week since 2012. This year alone, I think we're up to about 50 countries, but in total, we just hit 100 countries today. So we're very excited about that. We're going to tell you all about it too tonight. I'm also going to be introducing Lidi Haramati, who's one of our co-founders. But first, let's get on with the show here. I'd like to introduce Michael Sarill. He leads the product development and partnerships for Project Noaa. He earned his bachelor's degree in philosophy from Brown University and completed the Bears Environmental Leadership Program at UC Berkeley in California. And he is, like all of us, passionate about wildlife and biodiversity conservation. And he's very excited to explore ways for people to live in harmony with nature. And that's a big topic today. Prior to Project Noaa, he built a wildlife game called Baboon. Maybe you have heard of that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Michael Sarill, who's going to tell us all about Project Noaa and its partnership with National Moth Week. Michael, take it away.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sandy, for that really nice introduction. Can everyone hear and see me okay? Hi, everybody. Okay, great. I'm going to start by going ahead and sharing my screen here. Second. Okay, can you see Project Noaa?
Yes.
Okay, great. So first, I wanted to start by thanking the East Brunswick Public Library and Melissa for hosting this event. Project Noaa is a global citizen science platform to discover, share, and identify wildlife. It's been around since 2011, and one of Project Noaa's original and longest running partnerships is with National Moth Week. Each year, we collaborate with National Moth Week from July 17th to the 25th, which is the official National Moth Week, although as we all know, this collaboration usually starts well before the 17th as we do promotions and social media to bring awareness for the event. And so we collaborate with them, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we collaborate and what that looks like. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the Project Noaa website, talk about the collaboration, and then also walk through Project Noaa Nature School, which is a new educational program we launched over the last year. So Project Noaa, it's projectnoaa.org is our website. And you can see on the homepage, you receive a feed of all wildlife spotting activity from users globally. And you can see patches you've earned, your friends, your followers, and then you can filter by spottings as well as comments and favorites as well. So on the wildlife tab, you can basically filter all the observations in our database by category. So if you want to filter by mammals or arthropods or reptiles, that's how you can search our database. And then you can also filter by continent. And then once you filter, you can then also sort by some of the trending or popular and most recent spottings from our community. And as a citizen science project, a big reason many users come to our site is for help with species IDs. So you can also then filter by any spottings that have already been identified and spottings that the users are requesting identifications for. So to show you a specific spotting, this is a spotting from one of the enthusiastic users named Albert Kang. And this is a netcasting spider photographed in Malaysia. And you can see the field notes from the user and all the comments from the community. And this is just amazing photos of this particular spotting. And this was actually voted Spotting of the Week. And any spotting that receives Spotting of the Week is featured in our banner as well as in our social media. And so any spotting is geotagged, there's the date, and then the user can select the missions to associate with the spotting. And you can see the community activity associated with it. The user profile page will show all spottings associated with the user. You also have similar sort capabilities, and you can see other associated data associated with that user. Their patches, who their friends are, and who's following them. And this is another enthusiastic user who has a lot of spottings of insects, plants, and birds throughout North America and Japan. So the next page is our missions page. And so for 2021, we're featuring backyard habitats of the world. We're encouraging people to explore nature and wildlife in their local green spaces and parks. Obviously, because of the pandemic, the last year and a half has limited global travel. And so this is our mission that we're featuring this year. So for National Moth Week, our partnership each year with National Moth Week, we promote Moths of the World, which is a specific mission geared towards moths every year. And this has been running since 2011, this mission. And so you can see all the moth photos that have been submitted into this mission over the last 10 years, as well as all the user activity. And you can filter this and go in and see specific user spottings. So this is an example of a ranger's moth spotting into the mission. And you can see it's here spotted for missions, Moths of the World. And so for any user who submits a moth photo into Moths of the World mission, they will receive the special patch. There's a once-a-year patch that we design and build in collaboration with National Moth Week, and the 2021 patch looks like this. And so this user, for example, has earned the patch, 5 of the last 6 years, missed 2020, but every year there's a new patch, and all a user has to do is submit a moth photo into Moths of the World, and they will receive the special patch. And this is the mission here. And this is one of actually our rangers who's a really enthusiastic member of the community and helps to curate our site, Sukanya, and she's in India. And so I just wanted to also highlight our rangers, who are amazing volunteers who help with species identifications and help to welcome new community members. And it's a really enthusiastic, passionate group of people. Lastly, on our social media, we're featuring Project Noaa National Moth Week, where we highlight the patch and the collaboration. And we do some social media promotion to help bring awareness to National Moth Week every year in July. So what I wanted to talk about now also is this is a new initiative we launched called Project Noaa Nature School, which is a new dedicated educational website geared towards nature education and wildlife education. And so we published an open nature crack curriculum. This is new, it's launched over the last year. And so we have a launch video, and these are the lessons that we have. And I'll get to the mothing one in a second, but just to quickly show, we have these six nature lessons on chipmunks, owls, spiders, animal tracks, camouflage, and orchids. And this is geared towards elementary school and middle. And you can see there's a detailed educational infographic on the subject matter, and a lot of really great multimedia content for homeschoolers, as well as science teachers and districts, to bring nature and wildlife education to schools. Each nature lesson has an objective, discussion questions, homework, and a quiz. And this is all publicly available at natureschool.projectnoaa.org. So in addition to the nature lessons, under challenges, we have 6 kind of nature-focused learning activities. And we collaborated with Ms. Mallory, who's an amazing science communicator and wildlife educator. And the 6 challenges that we have are building an animal track station, discovering chipmunk burrows, revealing the pigments in leaves through a leaf chromatography experiment, dissecting owl pellets, and photographing spider webs, and going mothing, of course. And so you can see on our homepage, we have here 2 of the videos featured on building an animal track station and discovering chipmunk burrows. And you can go into each of these and see each of the respective videos. So just to show the mothing video, we produced a video on how to go mothing and talking a little bit about moth ecology. So I thought I'd play a few minutes of the video for everybody.
Hello class, welcome back to another Project Noaa Nature School activity. I'm your host and personal nature guide, Miss Mallory, the curious conservationist, and today we are learning all about moths. Moths come in an incredible diversity of colors, patterns, and shapes. And while butterflies might receive a bit more love and attention, moths are actually much more diverse and have evolved long before butterflies. In fact, in North America, we have over 11,000 species of moths and only 700 species of butterflies. Most moth species are nocturnal and are ecologically important pollinators for plants and flowers during the nighttime. Bats are the main predators of moths, but there are many nocturnal animals that also hunt moths, including birds, spiders, lizards, and small rodents. What better way to learn about moths than up close and in person? Mothing is an exciting activity to observe and learn about these nighttime creatures. We will attract moths using a light and a white sheet. Here are some steps to attract moths at night.
So I'll pause it there. And then so we go on with the video. And I know the National Moth Week also has some amazing mothing videos on the Moth Week website as well, which are publicly available for everyone to see. So definitely check this out when you have some free time. It's natureschool.projectnoaa.org. And I'll hand it back to Sandy to talk a little bit more about National Moth Week and initiatives for this year. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
You're muted, Sandy.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate your introduction to Project Noah. That was really interesting. I want to watch the rest of that video. We have people here I see in the chat in all around the world, in Indonesia, where it's probably tomorrow morning now, also down in South Carolina and Florida, as well as right here in New Jersey. So welcome, everybody. Glad to that you could come tonight. So I'm going to introduce Lidi Haramati. Lidi is one of the co-founders of National Moth Week, and we're going to do a little chat between us with some questions, and also put your questions in the chat, and I will be sure to ask her and Michael what they, if you have any that we don't cover. But Lidi, by the way, is also on the board and one of the officers of the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. We are a nonprofit organization. Everyone's a volunteer with the Friends, and as well as with National Moth Week. And we do a lot of different programs, as Melissa mentioned at the top. We do a lecture series at our local library as well, but we have a community garden. We have a butterfly park here, which is actually how I met Lidi and the other co-founder, Dave Moskowitz. So Lidi, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you and Dave started National Moth Week?
We started it to share the wonderful experience of being out and watching what flies out at night. And I'll give just a little bit of a background. Dave is an entomologist. I'm a field biologist with a little bit of knowledge in entomology, a lot more now since we're starting doing this. And as part of our activities with the Friends of the Environmental Commission, we set up Moth Nights, and we invited people in the community to come to any of several parks we have in town, where Dave set up the light traps, and people came to observe with us. And it was a great success. I mean, there were nights we had 100 people just coming to watch moths flying at night. And it was so wonderful that we were talking, Dave and I, and we said, we want to share this joy with other people. And that was really the beginning. I will add that National Moth Week has two goals, and one of them is really to show people what's flying at night, what's in their own backyards. You don't have to travel very far. You can just turn on the light in your backyard, and you can see the beautiful moth that's on our logo behind Sandy and Michael. And you can see the beautiful moth that's behind me. The yellow one is called an Io moth, and the one that's behind me, and it's really not as big as in the picture, is called Harry's Three Spots. I don't know who counted only 3 spots because it has more. The other goal of National Moth Week, and that's our partnership with Project Noah and with Michael, is to collect data. And everybody can be a citizen scientist. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it later. But we want to be able to collect data that scientists will be able to analyze and process and maybe discover new things that we don't know yet.
So, Leedy, why, how old do you have to be a citizen scientist? I mean, can anybody do it?
Oh, everybody can be a mother. We had kids as young as 3 and 4 coming to our Moth Nights. All you need is to open up your eyes and look at the light at night. So there's really, you can be, I mean, from age 1 to 120, there's no age limit.
So are the same moths found around the world, or how different are they in different areas? Like, are they different from one state to another?
There is definitely differences there, and just like any other group of animals, some moths are very, they live in a very small range and they'll be endemic to one area. Other moths can be found, you know, everywhere on the continent, whether it's North America or Europe. Nowadays, where we, you know, people travel and they take things with them, we're actually expanding the range of some moths and they become invasive species in some areas of the world.
Right. I just learned today that we can play a very big role in helping identify invasive species of moths. So that's an important role that citizen scientists can play. Is that why you chose to make this a citizen science project and not just for entomologists and researchers?
Absolutely, and there's several reasons to that. One of them is that, you know, when people go out and they observe things, they watch things, we all like to share, especially nowadays with social media. So don't just share with your friends, you know, share with the scientists that can learn more about it. From the science side, and I'm a scientist by profession, I'm not an entomologist, but in many areas of science, citizen science is becoming more and more important. I think we all know stories about people who discovered new stars, you know, amateur astronomists. But now I know that many fields of science rely on people. And the reason is that people who are not scientists by profession sometimes gets to places that scientists don't get to, or they live in areas where scientists can't get to, and they can report their observations. So technology really helped us to expand the way we study, and everyone can take part in projects like this.
You know, in this country especially, we're familiar with moths getting a really bad rap. You know, they're ugly, or, you know, they eat your clothes, or they destroy crops, which some of that's true. But what happens on a moth night? I mean, are they scary? I used to be very afraid of moths a long time ago, and not anymore. But you know, are they ever harmful?
There's nothing to be afraid of. I'll say a few things. First of all, as was mentioned before, there are what was the number? 11,000 species in North America alone. There are about 10 or 11 times more species of moths than butterflies in the world, and everybody loves butterflies. Moths can be as beautiful as butterflies, but we don't see them because they mostly fly at night. The species that eat our clothes, I think there's only 1 or 2 species, and they just give the whole group a bad name. And I mean, of course, yeah, some of them are, you know, destroying crops, but again, there are very few species out of many thousands, and moths are very important to the ecosystem. They are pollinators. They are food for other animals. I think was mentioned in the field school video that we just watched together. They're a very important part of the ecosystem. Are they ugly? Well, look behind me and look behind Sandy. They're beautiful. And sometimes when you see, you may see a little moth that looks like just boring and brown, but if you look closer, it may have, and it usually has beautiful patterns on the wings. And wing patterns of moths have been inspiring artists for hundreds of years. So we need to start thinking differently and come, if you haven't been to a moth night, come to a moth night. And it's okay if you come and you think that moths are boring and they're scary. You just look at the light trap and you'll change your mind, I have no doubt.
So we have a lot of resources on the nationalmothweek.org website. Can we talk about those? Some of the things that can help people learn more about moths and also how to watch moths.
So we have a video library on the website, and there's we call it a mothing school with our team member from Washington State, Carl, and Carl's a wonderful teacher, and he recorded a series of 10 videos that tells you what you need to do to observe moths. Highly recommended. I suggest everybody watch the Project Noaa Field School video that we watched just the beginning of, because like I said, everybody can be a mother and it's very easy to set up in your backyard. We also have it's an ongoing or ongrowing series of videos about moths with our team member from Hong Kong, Roger, and he's calling his series Moth Magic. And the first four parts are already posted on our website. There's also a list of books if you're interested. There's a lot of resources.
So nationalmothweek.org. So we encourage everybody to register, but why should you register for National Moth Week?
That's a good question, because we want to know where you are. We want to see that people all over the world, and again, like I said before, even in remote areas, participate and record observations. And on the map, we also post public events where people can find events to, oops, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. There are a lot of public events that are posted on the map, and people can find mothing events to join if they don't want to do it by themselves, or they want to just hang out with more people. But it's very important for us to know where people are. It's part of the data collecting. And, someone just wrote to me and he said, is it okay if I contact someone who's doing a private event? And my answer was, if that person put on their information, their email address, we're friendly. We're all interested in the same thing and we want to talk to each other. So I really encourage everyone to register.
We have a lot of resources on our website, but they include the partner organizations where people all around the world can post their photos, and many of them will help you with identifying what you're seeing. So can you tell us a little bit about some of our partners? Besides Project Noaa, we have a page of partners.
So just like Project Noaa, you don't have to know what you're observing. You have to if you take a picture, you post to the site. There are people who will identify it for you, and Project Noaa is a very, very active and very, very friendly community. Other sites include the iNaturalist. iNaturalist is more scientific, I guess. And the way iNaturalist is built in ways that it's very easy for scientists to actually mine the data with maps and other tools. There are more local sites in different countries. There are some Facebook groups that encourage people to upload pictures We manage a Flickr group. Flickr is a site for people basically to upload pictures. And we have over 105,000 moth pictures on the site right now.
Wow.
So you know, what I tell people ask me, they say, where should I upload my observation? And so, you know, it's wherever you feel comfortable. If you know, the sense of community at Project Noaa is wonderful. If you want to upload to specific localized projects on iNaturalist, that's great. If you want to be more local, you know, local sites, amazing. So there's no shortage of places to upload your observations, and all of them offer help. So you don't know what it is. I post pictures of different organisms sometimes, in the idea that I'm posting it now so I don't forget later, and you know, in another day I'll go back and add all the identifications when I have them. I never have to. Someone already identifies it for me. So check out the whole list is on our website, the list of different sites.
Yeah. Registration, by the way, is free to everybody. And at next fall, after National Moth weekends, our artist, Baleen Mena, who lives in Ecuador and is one of the artists, as Lidi said, there are a lot of moth art out there. She's spectacular. She did the moth logo here that we have behind us. That's an IO moth. She will design for us this year. Every year she designs a unique new certificate, and everybody who registers gets a certificate of participation that's designed by Baleen. So we're always excited to see what she comes up with every year. Another thing that we have, if you're in different countries, is we now have a big network and a growing network of country coordinators all over the world. We've added a whole bunch in Africa this year. Thank you to Vijay, who's watching tonight, who's helped us get some new coordinators in Africa, and we have some in Southeast Asia, but I see someone's here from Indonesia. We don't have one in Indonesia yet. So we're expanding, and the people in their countries help generate interest in National Moth Week. Our new country coordinator in the UK has been getting quite a few participants to join us this year. So if you're in another country and you're interested, you know, start thinking about how you might want to promote mothing in your country. Anything that we didn't cover, Lidi, that you'd like to talk about?
No, I think I'm happy to answer questions. I'm sure Michael's happy to answer questions.
So
if Melissa reads us the questions.
Michael, this is a question for you. Does Project Noaa have an app, or is it all through the web page?
At the moment, we're encouraging users to submit through our web application on projectnoaa.org. We do not currently, unfortunately, have a mobile application active, but use our website, and definitely when you submit a moth photo, all you need to select is the Moths of the World mission, and you'll get that 2021 patch.
That's awesome. I don't see any other questions on the chat. Does anyone have any more questions who's watching? Has anybody want to tell us about their own mothing experience in the chat? We have someone here from Mexico. So that's really exciting. I want to encourage you, if you're on social media, we have a webpage, nationalmothweek.org, and Project Noaa has a Facebook page. What I meant was a Facebook page. And we also have a Twitter account, which is @moth_week, which is pretty active. So you'll learn a lot from the Twitter feed, because we're always hearing from different organizations around the world and learning a lot of new things about what people are doing and how they're watching moths. We're real excited. Look at our events map and you'll see the kinds of events that are happening all around the world. You just click on one of the little markers on there, and you can see where and what type of event is happening, and might give you some ideas. Mothing is a great activity for kids, as Leedy mentioned. We have some coloring pages on our website, and on Twitter, some other people have been posting moth coloring pages as well. So there's a lot out there. We definitely want to get young people involved in watching moths and caring about the environment overall. One of the things that's important now, and we're seeing some new articles come out about it, is that scientists are looking at moth populations and distribution for signs that they're being affected by either global warming, pollution, loss of habitat, other environmental threats. And I just saw an article today that discussed that. This is something that of concern in the United Kingdom, where they just finished their own Moth Nights. So people are concerned, and that's the kind of area that people who are citizen scientists can definitely contribute to, because they can show what's being found and seen in their local areas. So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to check again. Okay, this is from VJ Barb, who's one of our team members. And he says, does Project Noaa already, or is it planning to share the data with GBIF? And maybe, Michael, you know what that is.
Yes, we are planning on sharing our data with GBIF. That's in the works.
Okay, great. There's a link in the chat for the moth coloring book, if you're interested, and also our Facebook. Okay, looks like we don't have any other questions. Melissa, did you want to say anything?
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for coming, whether they were in Zoom, they're on YouTube, or they're watching at a later date. For future events with Option Green, you can visit ebpl.org/Option Green. Is there any other, is there an event coming up? I believe there's a Moth Night coming up that you might want to tell
Yeah,
people
I
about.
mentioned it at the top. On if you're in New Jersey or nearby, we are having a Moth Night on Friday, the 23rd of July. It's going to be at Community Park here in East Brunswick. Starts at 8. We have a special presentation happening at 8:30 from our state assemblyman, who's going to be recognizing National Moth Week on our 10th year. So we're excited about that here. And we're going to be celebrating it all week, and there's still plenty of time to register. I want to encourage everyone, if you go to our website, nationalmothweek.org, there's a button, I think on every page, that says registration. Just click on that. We don't publish your information, but we want to know where you are and where you're going to be watching moths and what you'll be doing. And
We
Melissa,
have one more question.
Oh, okay.
It's in the chat if you'd like to answer it.
Okay. It happens that if there are people who upload their observations to iNaturalist, but few people who identify them, how do you encourage people to continue participating if they're not getting, I guess, those IDs?
That's a good question, because I never had a problem. So I upload things and people identify them for me. What could very well be with, especially with moths, that there's so many species and so many of them look alike that sometimes it's hard to ID, and that may happen that people will look at that and they just wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah. And you have a team doing that, Michael, right? Who are IDing moths?
It's a group of volunteers who, in their spare time, are offering identifications and species suggestions. So, yeah, it's a little different than iNaturalist, but it's true. I mean, with the volume of photos that come into both iNaturalist and Project Noaa, there are definitely going to be oftentimes photos that slip through the cracks, right, and don't receive species identifications.
So VJ suggests that you can tag experts on iNaturalist, which would get their attention. So that might be an answer to that question if you're using iNaturalist. I suppose there's a way to do that They must have a list of people, I'm guessing. Another site that says that they will identify is Bug Guide, BUGGUIDE. They have a website and they have, I'm not sure if they have an app, but they're on Twitter, so you can look them up as well. So a lot of our partners do. Visit our partner page. We have partners in other countries that also may be helpful if you're in another country on another continent, and that may be helpful to identify moths in another part of the world that experts here might not be familiar with. Let's see if we have any other questions. Bug Guide. Melissa just put up the link to Bug Guide. So if there aren't any other questions, I want to thank everyone who attended tonight. Hopefully we'll see you on our registration list, and you'll be posting photos of the moths that you're seeing. Happy mothing is what we say here. Thanks for coming.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, or good